Right, today we're having a chat with Murray Hill, who's the manager of the Milford Business Association. It's a role Murray's had since 2011, so coming up for a decade next year, and he does a wonderful job in making Milford great again, really. And he's, in terms of our town centres, it's one of the most progressive, and Murray plays a big role in that. So welcome, Murray.
Hi, Aidan.
I thought we'd have a chat today about sort of the COVID situation with Milford and how that has impacted. Obviously, it's been a couple of months now since, first of all lockdown and then level 3 and 2, and hopefully 1's coming along. So what has the impact been on the Milford Business Association?
Generally, all the businesses bar one have come back, so we're pretty happy with that. The moods have been fairly upbeat. The businesses that came back initially, the cafes and that, they're all quite animated when I went to see them, even though I guess they weren't getting their normal turnover, but they were just pleased to be back and serving the locals.
Oh, cool. So is there any, like, in terms of initiatives that you've been doing, during lockdown and since lockdown, what have you been doing to try and get people coming back as much as possible?
Well, during lockdown, we decided early on to do like Milford-centric promotions. So every week we had a promotion that you had to answer a question about our town centre plan or something about someone in Milford, and we the final week we did a snail race, which was tied in with Vive la France, and that one was amazing. It was a bit of a trial, really, but we had 2,500 people stream it live, so we figure it was a success, and people by that stage had been 4 weeks into lockdown and just wanted a bit of humour. So. But no, I mean, the social media seemed to keep people engaged with Milford. We've ramped up the website, during the lockdown period. So that's a good source of information for people wanting to know about businesses, and the businesses have got access to the website so they can change things themselves, which is good.
Oh, good stuff. And have you found that your online has been busier, as in terms of views? Obviously, people have had a lot more time, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, the online on a normal basis is almost quadrupled to what we used to have on it, and it's pretty much staying up at that level. We're looking at upgrading the website to the latest version of what's around, so I'm sure that'll sort of keep stimulating the interest as well.
Yeah, and you're always doing good promotions, prizes and working in with retailers, and I know you involve Mercedes a little bit as well. What have you got coming up in the near future for locals?
Well, at the moment we're just reviewing I guess what money we've got in the kitty and what's likely to come in through the bid program, but definitely we'll be doing some more consumer operated promotions. Some will be with the dealerships we work with, which is Mercedes and their Peugeot dealership as well. Yeah. I'm not sure we'll do an overseas travel promotion this year, but probably, I can see we can easily fit in some local ones, because I was in Taupo at the weekend, and it seems the local tourists have replaced the overseas ones. It was pretty much just the same level of visitor down there, so that's all good. And we're also trying to work on what assets we have for visitors to come to Milford as well. So during COVID, I was working with Tony and Tristan on the walkways around Milford. So that seems to have been a relatively simple project to get in place the way we're doing it. And, once we get the signage up, we'll start pushing that so we can bring more people into Milford to have walks around the place.
Yeah. Milford's fortunate, isn't it, that it's got an excellent mall there, which is very popular with locals and as a destination as well. I know people come from other areas to that mall, and in terms of main street shopping, it's you're still pretty strong there, aren't you? You haven't got too many empty shops. So in terms of the challenges ahead for Milford, what do you see as those challenges as we come out of this, massive COVID problem for businesses?
It's really just trying to establish what the new normal is going to look like. And judging by what we've had so far, it's looking pretty positive, to be honest. We're going to make sure that the streetscape and the shops and all look really neat and tidy. Customer service is 100%, and really just push the story of our business owners that they are local people. They service the local area, and do some backgrounds on them.
So things to be optimistic about in the future. Obviously, there's the NZRPG are going ahead, aren't they, with their apartment development there? That'll add some people to the area. I guess it's got its challenges as well. But why are you optimistic about the future for Milford post-COVID?
I think we're positioned quite well to get some good growth. As you said, the NZRPG Omana apartments are underway. They're well on the ground on that one now. And we've also got the apartments on the corner of Pierce Road that have got their consent.
Good stuff.
And the interesting thing is with the ANZ Bank pulling out of the business on the corner of the car park there, that building's, I guess, designated as part of the Milford Centre plan as a low rise with cafe in the bottom opening out onto the town centre and offices, apartments above, sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that building. I've talked to a few people about the building and the possibilities of what you can do with it, and seems to be a bit of interest in it. So we'll just have to see what transpires there. I mean, at the moment, I think ANZ probably are still paying the rent because they've got their cash machine there. But nice to see that site opened up per the town centre plan.
Yeah, it's a good central site, isn't it? The obviously you've got a pretty hard working community there with the Milford residents, people, and the Milford Weeps also have put a big emphasis on water quality in the Wairau estuary. Obviously, in my role as with the local board, I'm exposed to their efforts. It's been pretty good, and it's highlighted what is a definite problem. And the budget for Auckland Council might delay things a little bit, but certainly council and the local board are well aware of those issues that need to be. But that's another benefit, isn't it, in terms of Milford has been so close to the beach and the marina and everything that it's quite attractive for visitors, isn't it, and as a destination.
Yeah, well, interesting you mentioned that because the new Rotary group, which is an offshoot of Milford Rotary, it's a younger group, presented me with a proposition yesterday about some sort of sea basket they put into the waterway that's been used elsewhere in New Zealand that catches some of the debris in the water.
Okay.
We're going to investigate what that's all about. I'm sure Weeps will want to come on board. NZRPG are interested in being involved, and no doubt the senior Rotarians will be as well. And that's the neat thing about Milford is the community groups that we've got around us that help. I mean, in the next couple of weeks, we should be installing another, I think it's about 25 pots, you know, the pot plant sets that we've done. We had them arranged to go in COVID, but obviously nothing happened then. And we're looking probably either next week or the week after at doing those. Interesting enough, too, I spoke to Aidan when they took over the Milford Road space outside the Milford Centre for their 3 bus stops here. And just the last couple of weeks, they've come back to us and they're going to put some new signage there. They're talking about planters for there. I'm not sure how many they're going to fund, but I know a chap was over at the weekend looking at our ones, and I put a deal to them that you know, they provide them, they put the plants in them, we'll maintain them, and if any die, we'll replace them. So hopefully we have that looking quite nice and tidy as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, nice to have a chat, Murray. Thanks for your time. I always enjoy having a chat to you, and really appreciate the job you do. I know you go well beyond for Milford businesses and do a great job. So hopefully this is the first of our regular catch-ups online. So thank you very much for your time, eh?
No problem.